To the Actuate Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics program, which is known as STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet, where we empower learners across African universities to transform their STEM knowledge into practical solutions for real-world challenges facing Africa. Our primary goal is to equip students with a framework for translating their STEM knowledge into actionable solutions. We believe in fostering a culture of innovation and problem-solving within the African STEM community. Our objectives are clear. Provide learners with a structured approach to translating their STEM knowledge. Encourage innovation and critical thinking among STEM students. Incentivize learning through our Learn to Earn program, where students earn Actuate tokens. Promote the development of solutions that directly address Africa's unique challenges. The Learn to Earn program is a key component, rewarding students for their knowledge acquisition, retention, and application with Actuate tokens. These tokens serve as both an incentive and a means to further their projects. Through this faucet, we aim to see innovative solutions that tackle issues like energy, agriculture, health, and technology, all while nurturing a new generation of problem solvers. Join us in the Actuate STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet and be a part of the change. Transform your knowledge into real-world impact and contribute to a brighter future for Africa. Empower your potential. Innovate for Africa. To the Actuate Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics program, which is known as STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet, where we empower learners across African universities to transform their STEM knowledge into practical solutions for real-world challenges facing Africa. Our primary goal is to equip students with a framework for translating their STEM knowledge into actionable solutions. We believe in fostering a culture of innovation and problem-solving within the African STEM community. Our objectives are clear. Provide learners with a structured approach to translating their STEM knowledge. Encourage innovation and critical thinking among STEM students. Incentivize learning through our Learn to Earn program, where students earn Actuate tokens. Promote the development of solutions that directly address Africa's unique challenges. The Learn to Earn program is a key component, rewarding students for their knowledge acquisition, retention, and application with Actuate tokens. These tokens serve as both an incentive and a means to further their projects. Through this faucet, we aim to see innovative solutions that tackle issues like energy, agriculture, health, and technology, all while nurturing a new generation of problem solvers. Join us in the Actuate STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet and be a part of the change. Transform your knowledge into real-world impact and contribute to a brighter future for Africa. Empower your potential. Innovate for Africa. To the Actuate Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics program, which is known as STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet, where we empower learners across African universities to transform their STEM knowledge into practical solutions for real-world challenges facing Africa. Our primary goal is to equip students with a framework for translating their STEM knowledge into actionable solutions. We believe in fostering a culture of innovation and problem-solving within the African STEM community. Our objectives are clear. Provide learners with a structured approach to translating their STEM knowledge. Encourage innovation and critical thinking among STEM students. Incentivize learning through our Learn to Earn program, where students earn Actuate tokens. Promote the development of solutions that directly address Africa's unique challenges. The Learn to Earn program is a key component, rewarding students for their knowledge acquisition, retention, and application with Actuate tokens. These tokens serve as both an incentive and a means to further their projects. Through this faucet, we aim to see innovative solutions that tackle issues like energy, agriculture, health, and technology, all while nurturing a new generation of problem solvers. Join us in the Actuate STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet and be a part of the change. Transform your knowledge into real-world impact and contribute to a brighter future for Africa. Empower your potential. Innovate for Africa. To the Actuate Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics program, which is known as STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet, where we empower learners across African universities to transform their STEM knowledge into practical solutions for real-world challenges facing Africa. Our primary goal is to equip students with a framework for translating their STEM knowledge into actionable solutions. We believe in fostering a culture of innovation and problem-solving within the African STEM community. Our objectives are clear. Provide learners with a structured approach to translating their STEM knowledge. Encourage innovation and critical thinking among STEM students. Incentivize learning through our Learn to Earn program, where students earn Actuate tokens. Promote the development of solutions that directly address Africa's unique challenges. The Learn to Earn program is a key component, rewarding students for their knowledge acquisition, retention, and application with Actuate tokens. These tokens serve as both an incentive and a means to further their projects. Through this faucet, we aim to see innovative solutions that tackle issues like energy, agriculture, health, and technology, all while nurturing a new generation of problem solvers. Join us in the Actuate STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet and be a part of the change. Transform your knowledge into real-world impact and contribute to a brighter future for Africa. Empower your potential. Innovate for Africa. To the Actuate Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics program, which is known as STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet, where we empower learners across African universities to transform their STEM knowledge into practical solutions for real-world challenges facing Africa. Our primary goal is to equip students with a framework for translating their STEM knowledge into actionable solutions. We believe in fostering a culture of innovation and problem-solving within the African STEM community. Our objectives are clear. Provide learners with a structured approach to translating their STEM knowledge. Encourage innovation and critical thinking among STEM students. Incentivize learning through our Learn to Earn program, where students earn Actuate tokens. Promote the development of solutions that directly address Africa's unique challenges. The Learn to Earn program is a key component, rewarding students for their knowledge acquisition.
Hi, Augustine. Augustine, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Frida.
Oh, yeah, I think, Augustine, we can begin.
Hello everyone, and I hope we are all doing well and we are safe where we are. And thank you so much for making time to attend our STEM session this week again. Last week we were talking about how we can leverage quadratic funding to enhance manufacturing process, and this week we are looking at how we can enhance this mechanism again to enhance distribution process as far as STEM knowledge translation and commercialization is concerned. And we are so much grateful to have our topic master today, who is Liliana Chieng. She will be the one taking us through at this presentation. And after that, I will invite our CEO, Dr. Machare Waruingi, to give comments and remarks about this topic. And then after there, I will invite Diana Mondi for summit progress announcement. Then we will wind up. So without taking much time, let's dive in. Let's concentrate, let's learn. And I am hoping that we're going to take something home at the end of the day, something impactful. So Liliana Chen, if you can hear me, you can take over. Um, okay, it's muted. Okay, go on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lillian. I'm going to take you through today's topic, which is quadratic funding in STEM knowledge translation and commercialization in Africa. In distribution phase in STEM knowledge translation and commercialization. Quadratic funding is a type of public funding mechanism that aims to support the growth of a diverse range of organizations, particularly those in non-profit sector. It is designed to encourage the creation of new organizations and support the growth of existing ones, with the goal of fostering innovation and promoting social impact. Then moving forward, we'll look at what STEM knowledge translation and commercializations in phase in which refers to process of taking scientific and technical knowledge from the research and development phase and turning it into a commercially viable product, service, and stakeholders, including business, government, and the general public. Mm. Mm. Then we'll also look at what distribution phase in STEM knowledge translation and commercialization. The distribution phase is a crucial step in the process of translating and commercializing STEM knowledge. The phase focuses on making the knowledge and technology accessible to those who can benefit from it. So there are several key activities that typically take place during distribution phases, e.g., product development. Researchers and entrepreneurs work together to develop practical application of products based on the research funding. Point 2, marketing branding. This ensures the successful distribution of the product. It's essential to develop effective marketing and branding strategies. And also user support and training. This ensures that users get the most out of product. Providing user support and training is essential. We'll also, under the topic, we'll also look at the importance of quadratic funding in distribution phase. Quadratic funding plays an important role in the distribution phase of STEM technology, knowledge translation, and commercialization by encouraging collaboration, reducing risk, fostering a sense of community, leveraging diverse perspectives, and supporting early-stage research. Quadratic funding can help accelerate the phase of scientific discovery and technological advancement. And we'll also look at how quadratic funding enhances distribution phase on stage in STEM technology translation and commercialization. Quadratic funding can enhance the distribution phase in system knowledge translation and commercialization by encouraging collaboration, It can enhance through leveraging diverse perspective, which this by bringing together researchers and organization with diverse background and expertise. It can help foster a more inclusive and diverse community. It can also enhance fostering a sense of community. Quadratic funding promote a collaborative and cooperative environment among researchers and organization by working together and sharing knowledge that can build a strong community that support innovation and knowledge translation. It can also enhance encouraging collaboration by incentivizing researchers and organizations to collaborate on projects. Quadratic funding can also help create more efficient and effective research ecosystem. Then finally, we look at how you can leverage quadratic funding to enhance its application. This by it creates a quadratic funding platform which develop a platform specifically designed for STEM knowledge, translation, and commercialization. This platform will facilitate the process of raising for projects and ideas in the STEM field. It can also leverage by tokenize intellectual property. These associated with STEM projects and ideas, which allow investors to purchase tokens representing ownership in the project, providing them with a share of the project's potential returns. And lastly, it provides education and training, which help individual principles of DeFi and quadratic funding, as well as how to effectively use the platform. Thank you, and back to you, Augustine.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lillian Achieng, for that good presentation. By reminding us, first of all, what is this mechanism called quadratic funding, and also defining what is STEM knowledge translation and commercialization, and what is distribution, and how this mechanism can enhance. And I love the way you talked about how this mechanism can enhance our distribution process, because I think finance or financial barrier is the biggest issue when it comes to innovation. Not actually regulatory issues, but the main is, I think, finance, because I often hear people say that regulatory issues is the main or the major challenge when it comes to innovation. But I think it's finance at the end of the day. And even the outdated or the traditional way of doing things. Those are the main things that are really making it hard for us to innovate and go far as Africa or African continent. I love the way you talk about marketing, creation of awareness and adoption for the new innovation is really expensive. Talking about supply chain limitations and all those. I would love to add some financial barriers when it comes to distribution processes, which can never be solved with these traditional systems unless we embrace Satoshi. One, the market is already very competitive. That's something you have to know as an innovator. Someone who is trying to come up with something at some percentage, someone has ever tried your idea. So you have to be unique. There must be a unique value proposition for your innovation at the end of the day. That means, okay, let me just give an example of how maybe, not just deeply, but the way Glovo, or let's say Uber, Ras, Bolt, those guys you might seem working on the same thing, but when you look at deeply, keenly, there are core features that are really unique in each other, and that's how they stay competitive and be able to get people paying Bolt instead of Uber, or Uber instead of Bolt, or for us instead of. There must be a unique value proposition. And right now, especially in tech world or STEM market, entering into the market, which is already very competitive, it's very expensive. You have to do a lot, extraordinary things. And I don't think these investors and venture capitalists can save us from all this unless we embrace Satoshi. It's very expensive. The other barrier, financial barrier, is IP rights, cost of IP rights. You know, all those things, IP rights, the processes, you know, all those procedures, very, very expensive. And I think we will continue struggling if we don't embrace these emerging technologies like blockchain and decentralized mechanisms. We will never, because I think blockchain is so flexible when it comes to IP rights. Tokens can play a big role when it comes to IP rights ownership. So it's so much flexible and very, very groundbreaking technology when it comes to IP rights approach or IP rights issues and even the cost. When we talk about again under just within IP rights issue, there is a lot of legal processes, and that's what we are trying to fight: centralization. We don't want centralization. So that's why we are here today, to fight for liberty. We need decentralization of these things so that we don't have to go to someone, some legal processes for us to innovate, which are very expensive. This week I was in Chandaria. Last week I was in Chandaria at Kenyatta University, Chandaria Innovation Center. And I was talking with a certain biomedical engineer. And he was telling me that regulation and legal processes are very expensive when it comes to both biomedical knowledge translation and even STEM knowledge translation. The authorities or the agencies here in Kenya, the local ones, for them to start even looking at your thermometer or any medical device, or even any biomedical device or any environmental device you have come up with, any innovation, for them to start even starting just to look at it, you have to deposit 2 million shillings. You can see. So where now? Those grants you write, you did, you know, you go through writing grants to look for money to manufacture. But again, when it comes to now, distribution, it's another hell of a thing. Unless we embrace this DeFi and blockchain, we will never be free. We will never have STEM innovations, and we will never set our continent free economically. Talk about so those are the things. I think those are the main challenges, and this topic is very, very much important for us, significant for us, and we need to start thinking about how we can set ourselves free. And today is the last session, that is distribution process for this cohort. I think we're going to now again talk about other sessions. I think we will be able to communicate that shortly, maybe within the week on the way forward. But I think, and I am really hoping that it has been very, very much empowering learning process. And I was trying to see, I was trying to just assess things and evaluate how we are moving. As a world generally, it's really tough. When you look at the system, especially our education system, we are graduating and moving out and demanding to be employees. I want to challenge each and every one of us to start thinking that we need to graduate out of universities as employers. That is the only way we can liberate ourselves. No one will liberate us. You have to move out of university and employ at least 10 people, 70 people. That's the mindset we need. That's what we are talking here at Actuate Biomedicine. We need innovators. That's what we are talking here in STEM, faucet of Actuate Biomedicine. We need to be employers. We don't need to be employees. It's okay to demonstrate and ban parliament because those guys are crook. It's okay, but again, at some point, what is the real solution? What can we do? We need to be employers. We need to be innovators for us to liberate ourselves. Because I mean, everywhere, let's say in Kenya, everywhere, every discussion, morning, afternoon, evening, night, morning, it's all about fighting poverty. People are depressed, very depressed about governance. You know, so when at the end of the day you go back to your bed and start looking at what is the real solution, what can we do? What can I do as an individual for me to just liberate myself and liberate other people? What can we do? Because people has been, people been there singing about corruption. What we need to do, especially when it comes to education systems, is think about innovation. Think about solving problems and moving out of universities as employers and not employees, so that we don't get frustrated and start blaming and banning people and going there to be shot. So let's think about that, and we are here. That's why this faucet was initiated. So we really understand, we recognize the power of innovation. And I think and I'm hoping that you are going to embrace, you're going to own this, you're going to be curious, and I think together we are going to set our continent free. So thank you so much again, Liliana Chin. And this juncture, I would love to invite our CEO, Dr. Macharia Warungi. So Doc, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Augustine. So Augustine, tell me if I'm audible. Am I audible?
Very, we can hear you, Doc.
All right. Wow. Very inspiring speech, Augustine. Now, Augustine, we should elect you as president of finance. Well, because president of innovation. This, the president of Kenya is a politician who just likes to do other kind of things. But what Augustine has told us is the truth and nothing but the truth. There's no point complaining about anything. The only thing that you can do is innovate. If you innovate, you discover all those problems disappear, they go away because they are not real problems. Things that look like problem are absence of innovation. Because when you're not innovating, then we think things are not happening. There's true things are not happening, but what is real missing is innovation. So thank you, Augustine, for reminding us we need to have the attitude of creators. You want to be an employer, not an employee. So people who are saying there are no jobs is because nobody's creating jobs. Let me tell you, it's not even the work of the government to create jobs anywhere in this world. There is no government that creates jobs, by the way. So that's something that you all want to understand. Jobs are not created by the government. Jobs are created by entrepreneurs, people like yourself. Entrepreneurs are innovators. The government comes around collecting taxes from the entrepreneurs. And so, but the government can help by creating a good entrepreneurial environment where people work together and they actually can create enterprises. So all these companies, say a company like Ford, like Boeing, Toyota, Samsung, they're not made by government. Government guys are not creative. You know that. They're politicians. So entrepreneurs create things, and then the government come around and start figuring out how to eat the money that the entrepreneurs have created. And so university education, specifically university education, is to teach you what to do to innovate, to become an entrepreneur. It's not to teach you to go and look for job, fighting for jobs that don't exist. Because those jobs that exist, particularly with the government, those guys do not want to release those jobs. They want to stay there. That's why you see Ruto saying he's removing the cabinet, and then the next week he brings them back. Yeah, it's a game. Yes. Okay. So, but that's not why we're here to talk about the politics. But so you want to understand that it is your role to create. Now, why people don't create is because creation is very, very hard. It's very hard. It's not easy work to create something. And so the hardest part after creating what your innovation is to distribute it to the people, to get the people to accept and adapt whatever you're selling. It's supremely difficult. That's the most expensive part of the creation process. We were talking about earlier on, talking about exploration, exteriorization, formalization, ideation. Yeah, piece of cake, because those ones you're doing them by yourself. You don't have to convince others. The hard part about those early parts of idea development is that there's so much uncertainty. Even yourself, you don't believe what's going on, because it takes certain fortitude to believe, because you can only get there by faith. You have to have an absolute 100% quantity of faith. There is nothing like little faith or half faith or maybe 75% faith. is 100%. You have to believe in yourself and your idea so that you can bring it out through those early stages. But then when it comes to distribution, and thank you, Lillian, for reminding us all the things that you need to do in distribution. First, you have to develop the product in large quantity, which is called manufacturing. That means that you need to have a factory, so where are you going to get the money to build that factory? So in the traditional funding model, you raise that money from the capital markets, which we don't have capital markets in Africa. We have Nairobi Stock Exchange and such places, but they are not for you, they are not for Africans. These stock exchanges in Africa are dominated by European enterprises. So it's very hard for you to think about raising funds through the capital markets to fund your manufacturing and distribution stage, because the system is just rigged. That's it, period. That it's very, very difficult to go to Capital Markets Authority and tell them, I've got this product, I want to create a distribution system. Please help me raise money for that. Yeah, and all they can do is start citing these regulations that Augustine is talking about. You know, they're telling you that without 2 million shillings, we cannot start looking at your document. It's not that they need 2 million shillings to look at your document. If somebody can't see you, maybe they can just need spectacles, but not 2 million shillings. But those type of things are stumbling block. They are kept along the way to make sure that even if you have the most brilliant idea, you can never raise money, because they start putting stumbling blocks way before you can even talk to the Capital Market Authority. Because before you go to the Capital Markets Authority, talk about fundraising, they are going to ask you for the licenses and all those things that whether you acquired this license, have you acquired this? Then you find out that at the end of the day, you need at least 10 million shillings. Almost 100 million, I remember, yeah. Almost 100 million shillings to do paperwork to get there. So for people, what I experienced when I was in Kenya, people trying to do that, because I know like this guy called Kinoti. Kinoti wanted to build a mall in Meru. And I think he was calling it the Green Mall, something like that. So he went through the whole process. So what I found that was extremely, what would you say, egregious, is that the Cooperative Bank of Kenya told Kinoti that we're going to help you go to the Capital Market Authority and raise the money you need. Okay, so they create something called a private placement memorandum for raising money. So, and they're working together with the industrial bank. It's called, what do they call that bank? ICB, the Kenya Industrial Bank. And so there are about 5 banks: Kenya Commercial Bank, Cooperative Bank, that industrial bank. And so the Industrial Bank of Kenya was the one that was going to do the road trips, going to market that private placement. So in order for them to do that, they told Kinoti that they're going to give him a loan of 100 million shillings. That's a loan. And so that money is paid to, first of all, is paid to the same company, which is called Cooperative Bank of Kenya, that lent him money so that they can be the custodians of the money. So the Cooperative Bank was going to be the custodian of the money. Okay. Then they had a secondary custodian, which is the KCB, also gets paid a whole bunch of money, fees. Yes. So already, so Cooperative Bank gives a loan for 100 million, but takes 20 million to be the custodian. See, why are they taking the 20 million? Because they are the custodians. Okay. Then the KCB is also in the game there, and also agrees that we are going to collect this money through our KCB branches throughout the country. So for you to use our network, we also need you to pay us 20 million. So 40 million is gone from the money the guy has borrowed. He has not even spent a cent, but that money has gone to the same banks that are loaning him money to raise money. So then they said, okay, you need lawyers. So they get another company, a private company, called a securities lawyer. And they say they are going to put the legal documents together. Those ones also collect another 20 million. See? So then the bank itself that was saying is going to be doing the road work also collects 20 million. So there are 5 different groups of people who use your name to borrow money to pay themselves. Okay. Then they say that they are going out to advertise that in the Nation newspaper. And then they are going to sell shares, preferred shares. It's a private placement. And that project raised $0. Nobody bought. Yeah. So they did not sell any of this, the private, what you call those instruments they were telling them they're going to help Kinoti. So Kinoti ends up with a loan of 100 million shillings, and he has paid all these guys, and they have not done any work. So he becomes 100 million shillings poor, and then he's going to keep paying interest. So what happens? The land, because he had guaranteed that loan with the land which is in Meru, and the initial building, whatever he had started doing, now the bank that lent him that $100 million comes and acquires, takes over that project. Now that is the amount of corruption that's going on in the Capital Markets Authority. So it is so bad. It's so bad that you go there genuinely with your innovation, thinking that they're going to help you raise money. But what they're going to do is they're going to use your money, your name, not your money, your name, to loan you money which they own. And then they're going to, first of all, underwrite that loan with your own property, your piece of land, because you have to go there and take title deeds and tell them you're going to borrow this money against that title. And then they end up owning everything. So that is what has been happening in Kenya, in capital markets. That if you see all those places in Upper Hill, you guys have gone through Upper Hill, all the way to Kilimani, on Gong Road. I'll tell you a similar story. I think it's something called the Green Mall. It's called the Green Mall on Gong Road. Yeah, the Green. I think it's called the Green Mall that has got some rings on its facade. That is happened the same similar way. That the owner of that Green Mall had a plot because all those people who lived in Upper Hill and people who lived in Kilimani, they were given title deeds by Moi's government. So when Moi gave them title deeds, those houses belongs to the government, and the government, like if you're permanent secretary, you're given a house. It was a government house. But because of Moi's corruption, Moi decided to give the people, whoever permanent secretary was staying in that house belonged to that individual instead of it belonged to the government. So the title deed changed. But then 20 years later, then we got this bank cartel in Nairobi. So one of the banks comes and approaches you and tells you, we can actually build a mall on your plot. And you can see all that Gong Road, Kilimani. We also have the Rough Bunch Road, so Nairobi Hospital, those sites, going to Hurlingham through Yaya Center. A lot of those private property homes have turned into tall buildings. But the people who owned them, the title has been taken away by the people in finance. So they say they are arranging finance. And so what they do, they tell you that we are going to arrange for you a loan to construct the whole place, to put up a mall. And then when they tell you they're going to give you a loan, So you have to guarantee that loan with your title deed. So if you're not careful, they're going to take your title and then they give you a loan, but they eat all the money in the loan and then they come and take over your property because maybe you're not in high finance, you don't know how these things work. They tell you that this is working like this, and eventually you have given up your title deed and you think you're having partners in this bank, you trust them. But then what they want is to take the money they put in their pocket and then they tell you there's not enough money to build to put up a building. Then whenever that building goes up, then you cannot bring customers into that building. So what happened? The Green Mall was built, but the Green Mall did not have money to bring customers in the distribution phase. So they could not pay back the money, and the Green Mall was acquired by the financier, who was the local bank. So, and there are lots of stories like that. A lot of men, women who have given up their plots to be financed through the capital markets, they end up crying tears. Now, cutting across all the way from Uhuru Park, going up there, Community, Upper Hill, that place of Kenyatta, you see very tall buildings. The original owners of those property are shedding tears because of the way things were done to them by people in capital markets. So it looks like it's a very progressive place, but then the money, the financing is so crooked and wicked that because of this centralized finance system, and it's just run by a few guys, you could say there are about 5 organizations in Nairobi which are doing all that. And they have taken a lot of property from people. So anyway, that should go away. That was happening because we did not have decentralized finance. And the capital markets already, and of course, they make life so difficult. So as you can see, for you to get to distribute your products, to get people to come and buy your products, first of all, you need to have financial stability, because you need to go through the regulatory hurdles. And these regulatory hurdles are made up. So you need lawyers. Lawyers are not necessarily expensive, but you can see as for Kinauti, they were charging 20 million shillings to organize the legal documents. It's a lot. If you have lawyers right now, lawyers within the team, like if you're in a university place, the school of law, get friends who are lawyers. But lawyers are not just going to come to you because they're your friends. But now when you have tokens, like Actuate tokens, you can set aside those tokens and give them to several lawyers so they can be in. Because what these things you're calling regulatory agencies, they are made up stuff. If you have good lawyers, they're just going to work through that and tell you, oh, these things are nonsense. Or because if somebody's asking you $2 million to review a document, you can tell him that's the greatest nonsense you ever had. You don't need $2 million to read a document. And if he refuses to read it, you can file an injunction. Your lawyer can file an injunction for you in the Supreme Court or even in the local court. They're going to be forced to read the document. If they don't read it, they get fired or they pay you. Yes, so there's no fees that's required for you to read a document, you see, unless they're saying that, yeah, anyway, so that's how you do it, is that they take advantage of the fact that people do not understand the law, but then you're not expected to understand the law. You are expected to get a lawyer to help you understand the law. And if you have a lawyer, the lawyer is going to, when you're submitting the regulatory documents, the documents are reviewed by the lawyer. It's a legal statement. Okay, so that's one, that you need to have people who understand law, even finance law, and they are there already with you in school, in college, yes, and out of college. You also need to understand, to have people who understand finance. That's why we have people in financial engineering. So do not try to do these things by yourself. Okay, that's the thing. Do not even attempt. Even there's nothing you can do on your own. You cannot even make a baby by yourself. So why do you think that you can make anything on your own? Get help. Okay. So the first thing you do, as we are talking about through all the stages, is when you come to this stage, even you can ask ChatGPT to tell you what professionals would you need to make this happen. So you get a whole list of professionals. So you're gonna need people who understand law. They can help you with regulation. You need people who understand finance. Well, I'm not talking about accountants. Accountants know how to do balance sheets. They know how to do after the fact things. You're not even looking for economists. You're looking for financial engineers. Because this thing is forward looking, it's not backward looking. Accountants look back at what's already, they can evaluate for you your bank statements. That's it. But you're not talking about bank statements. You don't have bank statements. You're talking about projections of the future. It's called engineering. People who can help you create financial models for what the future is going to look like. So that's a financial engineer. Some of the people in actuarial science understand this. So that means that you need to have the right competence in your team. And then you have the innovator, who is you, yourself. You have to be there all the time, 100% in. And then you need somebody who understands market, which is called business development. This business development is just being able to engage people in the community. And to get your product adopted by the community, you need to have people who can talk to people in the community. It's not really complicated, but you need to understand that. Okay? People who can break down the idea that's very complicated in simple language that's understandable by local people. And that is what it takes. But even you cannot just have people who can understand something, who can take something to be understood by local people in the village. If you don't have lawyers to protect the product from creatures who are thieves, some of those people pretending to be regulators, people pretending to be lenders, because these lenders, they are vultures. They are not lenders. They are vultures, like what you have seen them doing to people, taking their title deeds and then saying they're lending them money, but they're just vultures. First of all, they want to kill you so they can eat you when you're dead, like vultures do. So that's the thing. So when you have that, now to make it look complicated, like what you would see Shadalia would help, and then maybe if you find them saying that they are being stilted at the regulations, it's because they are missing two things. One thing, if they have not thought about getting lawyers in-house, they need to have a legal team there, which can be objecting to somebody asking them for 2 million to get a regulatory approval. And I'm going to tell you where those 2 million things come from. So they need to have a legal team, not just one lawyer. They need to have a whole panel. That's why you would have, it's in a university. Why don't they have a legal team? Like a Law Society of Kenya. Now, if you now have Law Society legal team, or you get a whole bunch of lawyers, then those guys who are asking for 2 million would not even open their mouth to say such a thing, because lawyers are going to make sure that okay. Lawyers are going to make sure that they never say such a thing. Okay, that's the thing. So now they're in the university also. it's quite easy to get financial engineers to help me work with the financial projections. Yeah, but you see, if the project already is stultified and the level of regulations, you can't even think about developing the market because you cannot get past that. It is a big block. You can't move forward. Now let me explain to you where these stumbling blocks come from. They come from the colonialism. They are not new. So we are not going to get out of it except if we admit that we need to do our financial freedom. As I've told you, nearly all the companies running in the Nairobi Stock Exchange are foreign companies. They are European owned companies like Safaricom, Kenya Breweries, all those Kakuzi Kenya, things like that. They come from the British Empire. And of course, we believe they're Kenyans. So Europeans do not want you to own your innovation, period. And even if you make an innovation, they do not want you to distribute it to the people. Because if you distribute, like what Augustine was saying, when you make a thermometer, if you are making thermometers and distributing them to hospitals, those traditional thermometer manufacturers from Europe will not have a place to sell them the thermometer. So we have that kind of thing, market protectionism. It's a colonial-driven protection to protect the colonialist to continue selling things. And you have seen that whether it's medicine, biomedical devices, or even engineering products, very difficult to get them into the market in Kenya. These regulations are cooked out in the European Union. And then those guys, the regulators in Kenya, they don't write the regulations. They just copy what they are told by the European Union. And they're told, okay, look, you cannot have this thing in your country. And those to frustrate our people from doing those things, we are told now, if anyone comes to ask for permission, ask them for $20,000. Because they don't do that in their own country. I know, I live in the United States. There's nothing like that. They don't ask you for such things. Yes, in fact, they pay you to innovate. See? Yeah, they give you money. But over there in Kenya, you're being asked to pay to help people. Because it's not just Kenya, it's the entire African continent that it's not possible to innovate because we have these regulations. Now, in medicine, I know we have 3 sets of regulations that makes it impossible for you to get in. That's what we're talking about on Tuesday. The good manufacturing practice, the good clinical practice, and good laboratory practice. They tell you, oh, your innovation does not meet any of those. Yeah. So when you come to, and that's the same thing for the good, for manufacturing things, biomedical things like thermometers, you don't have good manufacturing practice. It's not Kenyans who wrote the good manufacturing practice regulations. No. And when you go to the Western countries, the way they implement that, it is different from the way it's going to be implemented in Kenya. So that's why you need lawyers to help challenge those things. If they were written somewhere else, they do not apply in Kenya. And I'm giving you it's exactly the same as the finance bill that the Gen Z has rejected or helped to reject, reject the finance bill. The finance bill itself was not written in Nairobi. It was written in Washington, D.C. by people called IMF. When Ruto came to the US in May, he was given that finance bill to take home. Yeah. And then tell the parliament to pass it. You see, it took a lot of effort by a lot of Kenyans to get that finance bill rejected. Imagine that thing is the same in all other fields of work, fields of innovation, that in good manufacturing practice is not written in Nairobi. It's written by strangers out there, and then it's fed down, and then the people who are called regulators, they're supposed to implement that. It's not difficult to get over that today. And you see, if you do not have permission from those regulators, you cannot raise money from the capital markets. Then when you go to the capital markets, you find other vultures, as I've just explained to you, that they're waiting for you. They tell you, bring your title deeds so that we can give you a loan for planning. Can you believe that? They take the money and they actually, they tell you they have given you the loan, but they distribute all the money to themselves. So I felt sorry for that Mr. Man from Meru. Yeah, I think they're calling it Meru Greenmount. And so, and that is just one. You find a lot of projects like that. So anyway, let's get back on track, because it's not, why I had to say that is because it is not all darkness. And thank God for the blockchain, because we shall never need to go back there ever again. If you find yourself going back there, umepotea. You remember that you are not of them that go back to perdition. That's place called perdition. Okay? Perdition is hell. You're not of them. So you have to reject that. So reject it is what Augustine has said. Reject that old model of financing, which is highly centralized, and it creates thugs and vultures. So quadratic funding is the way out of this, because if you have tokens, we can allocate tokens. The people who need the product the most, first of all, you have to identify, that's the market, identify the product, you already have it. People who need the product, of course, you have to do your financial projections properly. That's why you need to work with a finance engineer. By the way, a finance engineer is not expensive, just your colleague, is another student in class. You look for the financial engineers and can you help me create, finance tables here? And then you can now do the estimates. How much is it going to cost you to distribute your product throughout the whole nation if you're going to acquire the entire market? That means to get distributors, or you can call them agents, in every county, in every ward. How many agents do you need in every ward? If you're talking about, say, a biomedical product device, an agent is someone who can go to the local clinics and tell them, would like to present to you this new technology for measuring body temperature. So in get people, you need to have at least 3 people in every ward who can be going on the ground talking about you. So you need money to pay those people. And you find that if you're going to cover the whole nation, you're going to need millions of shillings to pay salaries. And over a period of 5 years, you have to give yourself enough time for you to break even, because you cannot start breaking even within 1 year. There's something called the learning curve. The learning curve is people learning how to use your products. You have to give people time to learn about your product. That is going to take anywhere between 2 to 3 years, even 5 years, that people have not even understood what you're selling. Those 5 years where people have not learned your product, you have to fund it out of your pocket, or you get people to participate in funding it using quadratic funding. Okay, so the quadratic funding helps you to fund the learning curve. Okay, the learning curve. And now with the learning curve, you can get adoption of your product. If your money to fund the learning curve usually takes 5 years to get saturation, where people have learned very well what you're selling, and you can go to every shopping center, and you find people are talking about your product. That's 5 years down the road. But you cannot achieve that within a year, within 2 years. And if you do not understand that, you will not achieve it forever and ever. People will never know what you're making. Yeah, even if it's the most transformational technology, but you have not financed the learning curve, that means the money for educating the users, like user education. You have to teach them teach them. It's like a school all over again. Yes, but you are the one paying school fees. You're not. But where do you get the school fees if you don't have money? Quadratic funding. So long as you have good arguments with the people you are explaining to them that if they buy tokens, then you can use those tokens to distribute to teach people in the community. That means you need to have community economic development workers or community health workers, community workers, which in the government, such people are known as what? Those people who are below the MCAs. So you have people in the community teaching people about the use of your product. And that's where the money is needed. So again, what I've told you before, that Safaricom spends about how much? $10 million to build that agency network, to train people how to use M-Pesa. Agency network for M-Pesa cost Safaricom $10 million. But you see, Safaricom was able to raise that money because they say Safaricom is a European company called Vodacom. So they could raise money from the stock exchange in London, and then they sold more shares in Nairobi Stock Exchange. So they were able to raise 10 million. But if you cannot raise 10 million, where is it? Because Capital Markets Authority will not allow you to do that. But now you can raise that money on the decentralized finance system using quadratic funding. Okay, so you have the power, equal power with Safaricom. This is the great equalizer. Just if in case it does not click upon you, it better clicks, because if you don't, then you're going to still be the same. And that freedom we're talking about, the new freedom is called economic freedom, where you become the employer, will never happen unless you get, unless it becomes clear, it gets clear in your consciousness. And then you discover that it's quite possible to do what Safaricom has done, to distribute M-Pesa in the whole country. And it's possible to raise the money with quadratic funding, but it's a landed process. So how does it work then? If you estimate that you're going to need 10 million, Safaricom did not use all the $10 million. That's how many? That's a bit. 10 million is what? A billion shillings? I think so. Yeah. They didn't spend all that money in 1 month, 1 day, even 1 year. It's over a period of time. Maybe about over 10-year period to build that agency network. But that's how much it cost to build the agency network over a period of 10 years. But they had to do that as a financial projection from the beginning. They knew it's going to cost this much money. And so they had to keep raising that money to make sure that there's always sufficient capital to build the agency network. Okay, if that's the case, then if you are intent and you're working and you come to the distribution stage and you discover that you need 10 million to cover the entire market, then you talk about allocating tokens like Actuate tokens, which can be sold. This only says like 10 million tokens, and each token is $1. And if the project is very good, it's going to attract a lot of local people, because local people can afford $1, but they cannot afford $10 million. They can afford $1, and you get local people to help you do that. But see, that's where the work. So the work for you then comes from mobilizing local people to get into the system. So this is why even this Actuate Nation, we have to continue building it. As we were saying yesterday, then the minimum numbers needed, even for health access program, is about 100,000 people. So that we cannot begin breaking through if you're just a handful of people. Now that is self-deception. We have to bring in everybody, get them in Actuate Nation. So that is your job. Do that so that when we start doing these things, we have access to as many people as possible, so that raising money for large capital projects is not a problem, because the money is with the people. It's not that the money is lacking, it's that the people are not united. They are not on the same platform. So the clarion call for you is to do this. In Actuate Nation, add as many people as you know, even those you don't know, into Actuate Nation. We want to grow. As we were saying, the Actuate Nation, it's on WhatsApp. WhatsApp allows at least as many as 2,500 people. So if you're not adding people in Actuate Nation, and we are talking quadratic funding, that's just an adventure in missing the point. So we cannot do that if you are not adding people. Add people to the Actuate Nation. Add as many as you know and as many as you do not know, so that Actuate Nation grows and it thrives. If we don't do that, we are never going to get this liberation. Okay? And we can talk all we want, but without a big community, it doesn't work. So it all relies upon, and I want to repeat this, relies upon the size of the community. Okay, the size of the community, the base community itself. So, your challenge is over the next few weeks, keep adding people to the Actuate Nation. Add. So your job is to add people into the Actuate Nation, and then the job is we continue working, because I think we have all understood quadratic funding for both biomedical translation, even in health access, and in STEM knowledge translation. So the bottom line is to add as many people as possible in the Actuate Nation, so that when we start implementing these things, we have a base, a user base. Then next, when you start now talking about the next cohort, what you're going to do, we shall be talking about the Actuate token itself. Yes, what is the Actuate token? What does it do? And how can we use it all ourselves to make things very, very good and make all this fundraising possible, all of us. So we're going to get into Actuate token per se. So we shall be learning about token for the next 8 weeks in the STEM faucet. Okay, back to you, Augustine.
Thank you so much, Doc, for those remarks and comments about our today's session. And that's cool now that we are shifting and diving deeply into our token and how they are aiming to actualize STEM knowledge translation and commercialization. So now I would love to invite Ms. Diana to take us through the summit. So Diana, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Augustine. Kindly confirm if I'm audible enough.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I'm going to take you through Actuate Pre-Boston Nairobi Summit announcement. So as you all know, Actuate Pre-Boston Nairobi Summit is going to take place from December 3rd to 6th, 2024, and the theme is going to be using blockchain, DeFi, and AI to improve health and human development. And the venue is going to be at Kenyatta University. And the purpose of the summit is going to be to gather stakeholders of blockchain, decentralized finance, artificial intelligence, health and human development in Africa, to discuss how blockchain, DeFi, and AI produce health and human development. And you can either come to the summit as an attendee, exhibitor, sponsor, and for you to come as an attendee, you can go to our website, register as an attendee. You'll be required to pay a fee of $150. And if you come as an attendee, you'll gain a lot, where you'll get a chance to discover innovative solution. You'll also have an opportunity to network with like-minded individuals, and you'll also be part of the conversation, where you'll participate in interactive sessions, workshops, and discussion to explore the possibilities and navigate the future landscape. So remember, if you come as an attendee, this conference is going to be your opportunity to gain a deep understanding of how blockchain and DeFi can be harnessed to tackle global health concerns. It is also going to be your opportunity to explore the potential for these technologies to empower individuals and communities. It is also going to be your opportunity to network and collaborate with group of stakeholders. So you need to come as an attendee, you secure your spot, where you're going to register a fee of $150. You can also come to the summit as an exhibitor. If you come to this summit as an exhibitor, you'll go to our website, click the exhibitor space, where you'll need to pay a booth fee of $1,000, and all the information that you need is located there. And the reason why you should exhibit, remember, you'll reach a targeted audience. You'll also gain industry exposure, where you'll position yourself at the forefront of this rapidly evolving field, and you'll get a chance to demonstrate your commitment to driving positive change. You'll also network with key decision makers, and you'll also generate qualified leads, whereby you'll engage with a highly engaged audience. So the benefit for the exhibitor is that if you come as an exhibitor, or if you get an exhibitor, he or she, they'll have an opportunity to secure a prominent space on the conference floor, so that they can showcase their products and services. They'll also benefit from the conference extensive marketing reach and attract a steady stream of potential customers. They'll also have a networking opportunity. So if you want to come as an exhibitor, or if you know anyone who is fit to come in as an exhibitor, they need to pay an exhibitor booth fee, which is $1,000. For them to come to the summit, you can go to our website, go to the exhibitor space, and check the details that is located there. Also, you can come to the summit as a sponsor, because right now we are working on looking for the sponsors and the exhibitors, so that they can come to the summit coming this December. So the first sponsor is known as a title sponsor, who pays $100,000 to attend the summit. Then we have a diamond sponsor, who pays $10,000. Then we have a platinum sponsor, who pays $7,500. Then we have a gold sponsor, who pays $5,000. Then we have a silver sponsor, who pays $3,000. Then a bronze sponsor, who pays $1,000. So each and every sponsor will have their own benefit. Like, for example, if you get a chance to bring a title sponsor who pays $100,000, the first benefit that the title sponsor will get is that they will be mentioned at the beginning of every speech during the summit. They'll also get a chance to shape the conversation, where they will deliver a keynote address on the main stage. And also they will get a chance to showcase their expertise. another benefit for the title sponsor is that they will have a maximum brand exposure, where they will have a lifelong mention in our website, and there is a lot of benefit for the title sponsor. Also, the bronze sponsor have got its own benefit. So we need to work hard to bring these sponsors to the summit. A sponsor can be any organization, any person who is willing to pay a fee to fund our summit and to attend the summit. And remember, if you get a chance to bring the sponsors, the offer is still available, where you'll get to receive a 5% commission of fee if you get to bring in a sponsor. So let us work together to bring in the sponsors and the exhibitors to the summit. Also, another categories for one to come to the summit is that you can come either as a speaker, and if you go to our website and click the speakers list, you'll be able to see varieties of speakers who have just registered to come to the summit as a speakers. There are a lot of them. Yeah. So you still have that chance to register as a speaker. If you see that you have got the potential, can come to the summit as a speaker. And also there's another chance for you people to come to the summit, whereby you'll be required to do poster competition. So remember, we have listed guidelines for poster competition, where number one is that you'll submit your poster presentation about your innovation on the use of blockchain, decentralized finance, and artificial intelligence in health and human development. And remember also on your poster, you need to explain how the new technologies of blockchain, DeFi, and AI combine to improve access to healthcare, translation and commercialization of knowledge into products and services that will improve human lives. You'll also need to illustrate why the innovation is of significant importance to individuals, families, communities, and the nation. So the guidelines, there are a lot of guidelines if you go to our website. And also remember, the winners of the poster competition will receive grants to commercialize the innovation and also to present their work at the Actuate Summit coming next year in Boston. Yeah, so that is another chance for you guys to attend the summit so that no one can be left out. Yeah, and that's all I have to say for today. So our theme is to work on bringing in sponsors and exhibitor. You can reach out to anyone if you need any guidelines on how to convince a sponsor or even a person who is willing to come as an exhibitor or even a company. Yeah. So let us work together to make the summit a successful one. And that's all I have for today. And back to you, Augustine.
Thank you so much, Diana, for that comprehensive overview about our upcoming summit. And I hope you've all heard and at least you have picked something. I've also shared the link to the page, the summit page, just the chat box, so that you can just click and dive deeper and see how you can be part of it. And as we have heard from Diana, that we are in the phase of inviting exhibitors and sponsors. So there's a challenge which is going on, the 5% commission challenge, that we managed to bring in a sponsor, maybe our diamond sponsor, which is going at $10,000, will get 5% commission. You bring any AI company, any philanthropist company, any research company, any business, Coca-Cola, Equity, Cooperative, ABSA, all those. Money is there, money is there. It's all about how we master selling ourselves, communication, how you say things. And yeah, just as I have said earlier, we need to liberate ourselves. Okay, we don't have to wait for politicians. We need to save ourselves economically. So it's small things. These opportunities, you have to seize them so that we move together. That is the role of blockchain, is to liberate. Okay, and here is a platform. So grab it and utilize it for your growth, both professionally and also economically. And so I hope we are all checking the website. We are all doing something. Invite your friends, spread it, spread the link with some descriptions. There are a lot of links for poster, for speakers, for sponsors, poster presenters, for exhibitors, for attendees. And in case you need a message or a letter to take to any company, you can reach out to me so that I can share the letter to you. So you just have to drop it. I can do that for you. Okay. Okay, Ronald. Okay, Lija. Okay, Joy Komen. I see Sena, Rachel, Veronica, Nell, David, Salome, Victoria Makori, Liliana Chen, Pauline. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for dialing in today. And we really appreciate you, and we hope that you are really getting something out of this. Okay. Yes. So let's work together. Doc.
Oh,
maybe-
the thing I can add to what you guys have said about the summit is that for all of you who are here, make a poster about what we've talked about. That's the only way you can actually know. Even say if you make your own innovation, you want to distribute it. I think through all the lessons we have covered, you have now the material to make a compelling poster about what you are thinking about distributing. Yes, so the final thing is that in your poster, because today is the last day of translation science, is that you want to have you have calculated the costs of distributing your products. Okay, so you know that. As I have told you, Safaricom had estimated $10 million. That's 10 million is a billion shillings for distributing M-Pesa alone over a 5-year period. So you may not, your idea may not cost that much, but even if you are estimating that amount of money, it's an estimate. And so these conversations help you to see how much money you're going to need to build an agency network, people who can go out in the community and teach people about your product. Yes, you're going to teach those people who are now going to teach other people. So that is the whole, and over a period of 5 years. So in your poster, you have already said what you want to create. And then eventually you are asking, you want to demonstrate how you're going to use the blockchain, quadratic funding to fund the whole thing from exploration through to manufacturing, through to distribution. So if you have that and you have it on your poster, then you come and show it to the people. We're inviting a lot of people. People, you never know who will see your poster and say, wow, this one we can support. And then if you find someone who's saying they can support and you have quadratic funding, then we allocate tokens to your projects. But you cannot allocate tokens to your projects if there is no documentation. Remember, Lillian Ochieng told us that documentation is what we are talking about, creating those documents that can be used to explain to potential investors. Investors are people who are going to buy into your idea. And these are just local people. They're not necessarily investors from somewhere else out there. They are people who are going to be in the summit. Make a poster. Okay. So I cannot stop telling you that, because that's how you're going to get your freedom, and you get money pouring into your pocket, so you can implement whatever you have been dreaming about. Yes, do not let the money stay between you, and because it's not usually the money that stops me from getting this done. It's not the money, it's organization. But that organization requires you to understand how you're going to pay the people in the organization. Because organization meaning organizing people. Now, when you organize people, the people get stuck together by one thing, one common thing, like substance that sticks them together. And that is where money comes in. So, but with quadratic funding, as Lillian told us, quadratic funding makes collaboration possible. It's collaboration. So you get collaborators. Collaborators are what create organization. So you want to have collaborators of substance. And the very first step to getting those collaborators for you is to create a poster that now you have, as Augustina said, you have a platform to come and show your poster to all the people who are going to be attending. Now, when you create a poster, then your attendance fee, a fee of 20,000 shillings, would be waived. Yeah, so you'll be attending without having to pay the attendance fee. That's what's called collaboration is all about. But now, if you have the opportunity to attend such a place for free, and then you don't even make a poster, then what are we going to say about that? Yeah. So you ask yourself, what are you going to say about that? Having such a big opportunity to showcase your work to people, but all you have to do is make a poster, and then you don't make it. What? So anyway, enough for you to make a poster. You want to submit the poster registration form through our website. Yeah, make sure you submit that through the website, because if you don't do that, your poster is not going to get imputed. It's not going to be listed among the presenters of the poster. So you want to make sure that you're following all the steps. Yeah, don't say that, oh, I've been with you all the time, so I knew that I'm going to come here. No, nobody knows until you complete that form. See that you must complete the form, that you must take every step of the way. And that is how you get what you want. So you cannot get what you want by jumping in a step. You get what you want by attending to every detail in the process. Every detail. That is what is the truth. And nothing but the truth. I'm telling you, the truth is attending to detail. If you've been asking yourself, what is the truth? What's the truth? You see? The truth is attending to the details in every process. And you're told, if you know the truth will make you free. So the freedom, the liberty that Augustine is talking about is knowing what is the truth. I just want to repeat it the final time. The truth is understanding the process, the details in every process. That is what truth is all about. Truth is not something you say, oh, this is true. No, truth is understanding the detail of every process and taking action to that detail. That is what Jesus Christ was calling the truth, and called the kingdom of God. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of God with all its righteousness, and everything else is added unto you. So now you know. Okay, so if you know the truth will make you free. All right, let me stop there, but I believe you've got the message. Now, if you don't want to know the truth, you can stay without knowing the truth. Then that's up to you. But the truth is working to understand the detail of the process of participation. If you don't understand the detail of the process of participation, then you're passing without truth. And what can we say about that? It's very hard. So, yeah. So what you're saying that we just want people who are interested in knowing the truth so that they can be free. The truth will make you free. There's no freedom for people who don't know the truth. I'm telling you that. The truth is understanding DeFi, quadratic funding, the very detail of the processes that are involved. So if you understand those, then you find that you are free. Freedom comes there. All right. Thank you so much, Augustine, and back to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doc, for those additional comments. And I hope we have heard that for us to be free, we have to have knowledge of things in details. Thank you so much, Doc. So it's 1 minute to 9:30 p.m. And I would love to take this opportunity to say thank you so much to our topic master Lillian Achien, and also our CEO Dr. Machari going to our STEM session today, this week. We really appreciate you, Doc. And to everyone, thank you so much for setting this time and join us this evening as we try to learn and empower each other on how we can set ourselves free. Blockchain is all about economic liberty. Okay, we have to understand that blockchain and decentralized finance are about. So thank you so much, and we really appreciate you. I really appreciate you, Veronica, Joy Komen, Ronald, Anthony Sena, David Salome, Victorina, Pauline, Lilian Chentu. You are doing amazing, and keep up. And yeah, can't wait to see all of you in our upcoming summit. So do something. Let's be in the kitchen. Let's cook. Okay, we cook. Okay, so this Learn to Earn session is Learn to Earn program. We are being powered by Learn to Earn program. So I'm going to share the Google form. Take your time, fill your details, your information, and you're free to leave after this. So thank you so much, everyone, and bye for now. The meeting is adjourned.